If one rude comment can ruin your whole day, you're not in control of your emotions. Someone else is. One notification, and your focus is gone. One careless joke, and your mood collapses. One disrespectful moment, and suddenly they live rent-free in your head for hours. You try to move on, but you keep replaying the scene. What you should have said, what you should have done, how they made you feel small, disrespected, or invisible. Most people call this normal. A Stoic calls it what it is. You handed a stranger the remote control to your inner world. The uncomfortable truth is this: no one is making you angry, insecure, or anxious. You're allowing them to. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine walking through your day with a calm so solid that no argument, no comment, no disrespect can shake it. People can gossip, criticize, underestimate you. And instead of collapsing, you stay centered. Their behavior becomes background noise, not a storm in your chest. That's not fantasy. That's emotional mastery. And on Stoic Inspire, that's exactly what we're here to build. In this video, you're going to learn 10 Stoic switches you can flip so you stop reacting like a puppet and start responding like a calm, dangerous, disciplined mind. How to stop letting people ruin your mood. How to expect less, observe more, and suffer less. How to win peace instead of pointless arguments. How to become immune to cheap opinions and weak criticism. How to set boundaries without guilt and let go without hate. By the end of this episode, you won't just understand emotional control. You'll know exactly how to practice it. Let's start by destroying the biggest lie. 1. Your reactions are your choice. You're having a peaceful morning, coffee in hand, music on, mind clear. Then someone sends a disrespectful message, cuts you off in traffic, throws a passive-aggressive comment your way. Your chest tightens, your jaw locks. Your whole mood flips and you think, they ruined my day. A Stoic doesn't accept that sentence. They didn't ruin your day. You gave them your day. Between what happens to you and how you feel about it, there's a gap. In that gap is your power, the power to pause, choose, and respond. Life will always send you things you didn't sign up for. Disrespect, ingratitude, unfairness. You don't control that. What you control is what happens inside you the moment it hits. Imagine wearing noise-canceling headphones in the middle of a noisy city. The honking doesn't stop. The shouting doesn't stop. The sirens don't stop, but the noise doesn't get in. Emotional mastery works the same way. The world doesn't go quiet. It just stops reaching your core. Here on Stoic Inspire, we call that core your inner citadel, the mental fortress nobody enters unless you open the gate. Next time someone disrespects you, pause. Don't hit back instantly. Feel the anger, irritation, or hurt, but don't act on it yet. Name it. Say in your mind, I'm feeling anger. I'm feeling disrespected. The moment you name it, you step outside the emotion and start observing it. Choose the response, not the reflex. Ask, what response protects my peace and my standards? Not your ego, not your pride, your peace. The more you practice this gap, the more you notice something. On the outside, nothing changes. People still act crazy. On the inside, you change. And that difference is everything. 2. Stop expecting people to behave like you. One of the fastest ways to destroy your own peace is this hidden belief. I would never do that. So how could they? You're loyal, thoughtful, supportive. You show up. You remember details. You care. Then when you need the same energy back, silence. They don't call. They don't check in. They forget. They disappear. You start spiraling. How could they act like this? Don't they see what they're doing? Stoicism drops a hard truth. People don't live by your standards. They live by theirs, expecting others to think, feel, or act like you is like expecting the weather to match your plans. You can hope, but you can't control it. And if your peace depends on it, you'll always suffer. Each person is shaped by their upbringing, wounds, fears, beliefs, and priorities. When they disappoint you, it's almost never about your worth. It's about who they are right now. On Stoic Inspire, we live by this principle. Judge less, expect less, observe more. That doesn't mean you excuse bad behavior. It means you stop giving it power over your inner state. Imagine a coworker constantly interrupting you in meetings. You have two options. Stew about it all day, replaying scenes, crafting the perfect comeback. Or remind yourself, this is their lack of awareness, not my lack of value. I can calmly set a boundary, but I won't hand them my peace. Next time someone upsets you, try this. Catch the expectation. Ask, what exactly did I expect them to do? Call back, show up, read my mind. Check its realism. Is it realistic to expect them to behave like you, with your values and your level of awareness? Shift from control to clarity. Instead of, they should change, ask, what is this showing me about who they are and where they should stand in my life? When you stop demanding that others behave like you gain two freedoms. Freedom from constant disappointment, freedom to respond with clarity instead of emotional chaos. You can't control their nature, but you can control your distance, your standards, and your investment. That's how a Stoic protects his peace. That's how the Stoic Inspire community moves, with standards, not blind expectations. Think of the last person who disappointed you. Were you hurt more by what they did, or by the story in your head that said, they should have acted the way I would? That one question alone can save you from a lot of pointless emotional crashes. 3. Let go of the need to always be right. Think back to your last argument. If someone had paused the room and asked, right now, are you trying to understand them or trying to avoid looking wrong? What would the honest answer be? The ego hates being wrong. It confuses I was mistaken with I'm less of a person. That's why people will drag out pointless arguments just to feel they didn't lose. The Stoic question is simpler. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be at peace? On Stoic Inspire, we don't glorify empty victories. We care about inner stability. When you insist on winning every debate, you stay stuck in defensiveness. You react emotionally instead of thinking clearly. You damage relationships over things that don't actually matter. Imagine someone accuses you of something unfair. Your instinct is to defend, explain, over-explain, demand they admit you're right. But ask yourself, if they admit I'm right, does my life actually change? If they never see it, am I really going to surrender my peace to that? Most of the time, nothing changes, except your stress levels. You could simply say, I see how you look at it. I'll stick with what works for me. No drama, no shouting, no emotional hangover. You didn't lose that conversation. You won your peace. Next time you feel the urge to win, try this. Pause before you speak. Feel that itch to jump in, to dominate, to correct. Recognize it as ego, not necessity. Ask, what's the cost? Is this worth my time, energy, and mood? What do I really gain if they agree with me? Choose peace over ego. Give yourself permission to say, we see it differently, and that's okay. Your value doesn't come from winning arguments. It comes from how you carry yourself when you could argue. That's real strength. That's the kind of mind we're building here on Stoic Inspire. 4. Don't live like a human. Comment section. You share an idea. Someone laughs, mocks, or dismisses it with one careless sentence. Your chest sinks. Your energy crashes. Suddenly, you're not just doubting the idea. You're doubting yourself. This is how most people live. One compliment and they feel unstoppable. One insult and they feel worthless. That's not a life. That's emotional slavery. Stoicism cuts through with brutal clarity. Your worth is not up for public voting. What people say about you is an opinion, not a final verdict. When you let their words define you, you're giving them a level of power they never earned. Most people love themselves less than anyone else, yet care about strangers' opinions more than their own judgment. That's backwards. On Stoic Inspire, we flip it. You can still listen. You can still grow. But you stop putting your self-worth on trial every time someone opens their mouth. Imagine a colleague criticizes your work harshly. Instead of collapsing into, maybe I'm just not good enough, ask, is there any useful information in what they said? If yes, take the lesson, ignore the attitude. If no, let it pass like background noise. Their tone doesn't define your talent. Their mood doesn't define your value. Practice this. Pause the sting. When someone's words hurt, don't rush to defend or attack. Just breathe. Filter. Is this constructive feedback or just their insecurity spilling out? Take the useful. Drop the rest. Reaffirm your standard. Quietly remind yourself, my worth isn't decided here. I know what I'm building. The more you do this, the more you feel a shift. You stop being emotionally open for business to every random comment. You become grounded, centered, harder to move. You stop living like a human comment section and start living like the author of your own story. 5. Protect your energy with boundaries. Someone calls you at midnight with problems they could solve themselves. A co-worker keeps dumping last-minute tasks on you because you're so good at it. Family expects you to drop everything the second they want something. You keep saying yes. On the outside, you look kind. On the inside, you feel drained, resentful, and invisible. Stoicism is clear. If you don't protect your energy, life will drain it for you. Boundaries are not selfish. Boundaries are self-respect. On Stoic Inspire, we don't romanticize burnout. We honor service, but from strength, not exhaustion. Think of your energy like your phone battery. If everyone is plugged into you 24/7 and you never recharge, eventually you shut down. When that happens, you're no good to anyone. Not to them, not to yourself. Often, people cross your boundaries not out of malice, but convenience and habit. Because you've never drawn a clear line. So you must, calmly, firmly, without guilt. Instead of silently resenting a friend who always vents for an hour when you're exhausted, you can say, I care about you, but I'm wiped out today. Let's talk tomorrow when I can actually be present. You're not rejecting them. You're protecting your peace and the quality of the connection. Practice stoic boundaries. Get clear on your limits. How much time, energy, and emotional space can you give without harming yourself? Communicate simply and calmly. Use I statements. I don't take calls after 10 p.m. I'm not available to help with that this week. Stand by your boundary. People may test it. Stay consistent. You're teaching them how to treat you. Freedom is the ability to live as you choose. You can't do that if you're constantly living as everyone else chooses. Boundaries aren't walls. They're doors you control. Open your recent chats in your mind. Who leaves you feeling lighter after you talk? Who leaves you feeling drained and annoyed? That gap is where a boundary is missing. 6. Detach from approval and keep walking. You share a plan. Change your style. Start a new habit. Then comes the reaction. The raised eyebrow. The mocking comment. The who do you think you are? Energy. Suddenly you're second-guessing yourself. Do I look stupid? Are they right? Should I stop? This is how people abandon their own path. They trade their truth for approval. But Stoicism teaches a different law. What others think is not under your control. How you live is. Everyone sees you through their own lens. Their fears, insecurities, limitations, jealousy, or admiration. Their opinion is as much about them as it is about you. On Stoic Inspire, we treat external opinion like weather. Sometimes it's warm support, sometimes it's cold judgment, but either way, we keep walking. Imagine wearing an outfit you like and hearing, "That's an interesting choice." Two options: shrink, overthink, and change to please them, or smile inwardly and think, "Fortunately, I'm not dressing for you." You're not obligated to carry every opinion home with you. When someone's viewpoint gets under your skin, ask, what power do they really have? Do they control your values, your future, your character? Most of the time, the answer is no. Return to your values. Is what I'm doing aligned with the person I want to be? If yes, that's your anchor, not their reaction. Let it pass. Visualize their words as clouds drifting by. You notice them, but you don't climb onto them. If you want to grow, you must be willing to be misunderstood, doubted, even mocked. Your life is too short to be lived as a performance for other people's comfort. The Stoic Inspire way is simple. Live by your principles, not their approval. 7. Respond with silence, not anger. You're in a heated moment. Someone says something cruel, disrespectful, or deliberately provocative. Your body reacts before your mind. Heart racing, voice rising, hands tensing. You want to clap back, to destroy them with words, to put them in their place. Here's the trap. When you react from anger, you lose the only battle that matters, the battle over yourself. The best answer to anger is silence. On Stoic Inspire, we don't see silence as weakness. We see it as a weapon. Silence does 3 powerful things. It denies the other person the reaction they wanted. It protects you from saying what you'll regret. It shows everyone watching who actually has self-control. Imagine someone tries to humiliate you in front of others. You could explode, or you can look at them, stay composed, and say nothing. In that moment, your posture says louder than any insult. You don't control my tongue. You don't control my state. Practice. Stoic silence. Pause when the emotional spike hits. Before your mouth moves, let your mind ask, if I respond now, is this strength or ego? Channel the energy into presence, not words. Stand or sit upright. Breathe slowly. Keep your face relaxed. Let your calm be the loudest thing in the room. Speak later, only if it improves the situation. If a response is needed, give it with a cool head and fewer words. Most of our biggest regrets are not about the times we stayed silent. They're about the things we said when we were triggered. Silence removes that regret. Here in the Stoic Inspire community, we don't just want to win arguments. We want to win the war over our impulses. You don't need to shout to show strength. Sometimes the most powerful sentence is the one you never say. 8. Use gratitude as a stoic reset, not a cliche. You know those days where everything stacks up. You spill your coffee, you're late. Someone disrespects you. A plan falls apart. By midday, you're one inconvenience away from snapping. Here's what most people don't realize. You can't be in victim mode and warrior mode at the same time. Gratitude is how a Stoic forces the mind out of "why me?" and back into "what now?" Stoicism doesn't deny that life is hard. It simply refuses to stare only at what's wrong. On Stoic Inspire, gratitude isn't a feel-good quote. It's a mental drill. You're stuck in traffic, late, heart beating faster. Instead of feeding the rage, "Why is this happening?" you quietly shift. "I'm grateful I have a car. I'm grateful I'm safe. I'm grateful I have somewhere important to be." It doesn't fix the traffic. It fixes you. Use gratitude as an emotional reset. When anger rises, don't feed it. Don't deny it. Just don't pour thoughts into it. Name 3 things you're grateful for in that moment. Your health, a friend, an opportunity, a lesson. Ask, what is this teaching me? Patience, humility, perspective. Gratitude doesn't mean pretending everything is perfect. It means refusing to let what's wrong blind you to what's still right. Anger narrows your vision to one problem. Gratitude widens it again. A Stoic doesn't use gratitude to escape reality. He uses it to face reality with a clearer, calmer mind. 9. Turn criticism into a weapon for growth. You put something out into the world. A project, a change in your life, a new version of yourself. Then someone attacks it. They call it stupid. Point out flaws. Criticize your choices. The ego hears this and screams, "They're attacking me." Fight back, defend, prove them wrong. A Stoic hears something else. Is there a lesson here? On Stoic Inspire, we treat criticism like raw material. Some of it is garbage, some of it is pure gold. Either way, we decide what it becomes. Criticism can reveal blind spots, sharpen your thinking, deepen your resilience. Imagine preparing a big presentation. Someone reviews it and points out holes you didn't see. You have two stories you can tell yourself. They're tearing me down. They're giving me a chance to level up. One story feeds insecurity, the other feeds growth. Not all criticism is wise. That's why you don't swallow all of it. You filter the source. Do they live a life you respect? Do they understand what you're trying to do? Are they speaking from insight or from envy and frustration? Use a Stoic filter. Pause the sting. Let the emotion settle before you respond or react. Extract the lesson, if there is one. Ask, is there anything here that actually makes me better? Discard the poison. Disrespect, projection, jealousy. That's their burden, not yours. If someone speaks badly of you, they usually don't even know the worst of you. You already know you're imperfect. Criticism doesn't have to crush you. It can sculpt you. On Stoic Inspire, we don't chase shallow validation. We chase improvement. If a comment helps you grow, even if it stings, it's a gift. If it doesn't deserve free rent in your mind. 10. Master the art of letting go. Picture yourself gripping a burning coal, planning to throw it at someone who wronged you. You're angry, you're hurt. You're waiting for the moment to make them feel what you felt. But while you wait, who's getting burned? You are. That's what holding on to anger, grudges, and resentment does. They move on. You stay stuck, replaying scenes at 2 a.m. like reruns of a show you hate. Stoicism doesn't say nothing matters. It says, don't chain yourself to what you can't change. Letting go doesn't mean what they did was okay. It means you're no longer willing to let it dominate your mind. On Stoic Inspire, we see letting go as advanced strength. Not softness, discipline. Think of a time you were betrayed or disrespected. You might feel, if I let this go, they win. Here's the truth. As long as you're obsessed with it, they're still winning. Letting go is not about them. It's about you reclaiming control over your attention, energy, and future. Practice letting go. Acknowledge the wound. Don't minimize it. Say, that hurt me. That disappointed me. Decide what changes now. Will you set a boundary, reduce access, leave? Take the lesson. Upgrade your standards. Refuse to re-suffer it. When your mind starts replaying the scene, interrupt it. I've already learned from this. I'm not giving it more of my life. Letting go isn't pretending it never happened. It's choosing not to carry it into every tomorrow. Think of it like dropping a heavy plate you've been trying to fight with. The battle is still there, but now you can finally move. We're not here to live in old chapters. We're here to write new ones. Final thoughts. The Stoic Inspire. Way to emotional freedom. Let's bring it together. You've just walked through 10 Stoic switches to reclaim control over your emotions. 1. Your reactions are your choice. 2. Stop expecting people to behave like you. 3. Let go of the need to always be right. 4. Don't live like a human comment section. 5. Protect your energy with clear boundaries. 6. Detach from approval and keep walking. 7. Respond with silence, not anger. 8. Use gratitude as a Stoic reset. 9. Turn criticism into a weapon for growth. 10. Master the art of letting go. These aren't ideas to nod along to, they're drills to repeat until they become your default. Emotional mastery doesn't mean you never feel hurt, anger, or frustration. It means those emotions don't own you anymore. You feel them, you see them, and then you choose your response with strength and clarity. That's what we're building here on Stoic Inspire. A community of people who refuse to be controlled by chaos, disrespect, or other people's moods. People who are calm, dangerous in their discipline, and quietly powerful. Remember, you don't control the world. You don't control other people. But you always control how you show up. Every time you pause instead of react, choose silence over explosion, set a boundary, detach from an opinion, practice gratitude, or finally let something go. You're training your mind, you're building your inner citadel, you're becoming someone no one can easily shake. If this episode hit you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Hit like to push this message further. Subscribe if you're serious about becoming mentally stronger, calmer, and more stoic in a chaotic world. And comment below, which of these 10 lessons are you going to practice first? And how? Thank you for spending this time with me. Emotional freedom isn't a gift life hands you. It's a discipline you build, one decision at a time. This is Stoic Inspire. Stay calm, stay disciplined, and as always, stay unbothered.